Hi moms, welcome back to another episode. So today I'm going to talk about something that it's more of a story time. So it's something I've done a lot of research on and I've been reading because I was experiencing it, or I thought I was, and I wasn't really sure about what it was. So it's good that I read about it and then now I understand it. Maybe not really fully, but at least I can talk about it. So it's postpartum anxiety. But I think it's more of postpartum depression and anxiety. They usually go hand in hand, but you can also just experience one without necessarily the other. So my experience was postpartum anxiety. So normally, even way before my baby was here, I was so anxious. I used to just get like these panic attacks. So normally postpartum, not even postpartum anxiety, just anxiety in general, it can show itself in two different ways. Normally, I think it's either a panic attack or extreme OCD. So I had both panic attack and extreme OCD, especially when I was pregnant. I just remember like I used to be so unsettled about just about anything. And then I used to be easily startled, or just constantly worried about things, scared about things. It's like I just became a whole new person. I never used to understand what it is that was going on with my body. Or I would talk to my husband and we'd read about it because sometimes it was strange, So I realized I was just going through pregnancy anxiety, if there's anything like that. So my anxiety, I think, was more clear after my baby. So my postpartum anxiety was extreme. It was extreme. Now looking back, I realize how extreme it was, because I think it's just really right now fading away. It's not completely gone now, but now there's not so much. I'm not overwhelmed about so many things. So I'm able to just break down things and figure out what exactly it is. It is just a mood, or is it an anxiety attack? Is it a panic attack? Is it? So when just the first, say, 3 months after my baby was here, I was anxious about everything. I just had the most extreme postpartum anxiety. It wasn't really all the symptoms that I've read about, but majority of them. And the reason I was able to, rule out postpartum depression was, for postpartum depression, I think it's more of a mental thing. People around you can see it, can feel it. You can feel it. It's very mental. You just get to a point where you need help. I wasn't sad, like long periods of sadness or long periods of being angry, and it was just something that would come once in a while. Like I wouldn't sleep because I'm worried about what might happen to my child. So every minute I'm there, I'm like, she breathing. Even like when I had a nurse, the reason I had a nurse is so that I can get enough rest at night. But still, like, I wouldn't sleep. I'd make sure she's there in the room with the baby. So she's seated on a seat where I can see her. And I'd spend again the whole night watching over the nurse, watching over my baby. So it was very weird, but I was scared of sleeping. Even I remember I'd be told, when your baby sleeps, make sure you get enough rest. She sleeps and now I can't even sleep. It's not only the fact that I'm scared of what might happen to her, it's the fact that I have a lot of things to do in my head. There's this long to-do list in my head, but when I actually sit down and write it, there's literally nothing, like I feel like I need to, maybe I need to be showering right now, and then maybe I need to be pumping, or maybe when she sleeps, then I can pump, and then maybe take a quick shower, and then it's literally like just 3 things, but like in my head, it's a long list. And now when she finally sleeps, I'm just there staring, like I don't even know like where to even start. Like it was just a very confusing moment. It's just now that I was talking to my husband about it, like I feel like I have this long to-do list in my head, and then when we sit down and we break it down together, it's like, okay, let me help you with this one thing, you can do this other. We're like, literally it's just 2 things. Like, why do you feel so overwhelmed over 2 things? But that's the anxiety in your head. And then sometimes like I would find it so hard to relate to people. Like I just want to sit in my corner and just be alone. And then eating, I remember like the nanny, the house girl who was taking care of me at that time, she would bring a tray of food, and I would just look at that food and sleep, or look at that food and maybe that's the time I want to go shower, or look at that food and just pick like 1-2 things and then I'm done. And she'd come back, she's like, Tanya, no, you need to eat. And I'm worried. I'm like, no, I don't want to eat because I'm not hungry, first of all. But maybe in my head, it's like if you eat too much and then you'll get fat. But then if you don't eat, your baby is not getting enough milk. And then if you eat, maybe you could be sleeping right now, or you could be showering instead of eating. And then maybe you can eat and then your spoon will cling on the plate and then your baby will wake up. So feeding time was just so horrible. I just had no appetite. I literally used to force myself to eat. And then, or maybe I enjoy eating, say, mandazi and tea. And then I used to read a lot about things that I shouldn't even be reading about. And then I read and like, oh no, you shouldn't take wheat, you shouldn't take eggs, you shouldn't take what. So I stopped eating the things I enjoy eating because I've read about them, and really, it wasn't really that much of a big deal. The reason why maybe they rule out, it's good for you to rule out wheat over your pregnancy is the fact that it could be the reason why your baby is gassy, but my baby wasn't really. All babies are gassy, but it's just the normal level of gassiness. She wasn't like extremely gassy. And I was ruling out everything from my diet because I'm scared of my baby being gassy, or I'm scared of my baby being like, she will just make a noise and I'm like, my baby is colicky. Like, she's really not even colicky. I was just anxious. I remember I was just anxious about everything. And then sometimes I'll just be sad, but not like long periods of sadness. I'll just be sad. Maybe I remember one day I was watching a YouTube channel of a mom who was going through a child who just died from an SID. I was like, where's my baby? I need to carry her. I can't put her down. I need to make sure she's okay. She's not sleeping and her head is down. And I was so paranoid over stuff. I literally, like, I was just not even in control of things. I was scared of just about anything bad happening to the child. And sometimes she'll be fine, you know. And then even that I still go through that to date. Sometimes I'm scared of feeding my baby because she might choke. So I'm like, even if it's a well-pureed food or well-mashed food, I'm still so scared. I'm like, what if a huge chunk is stuck in her throat? Sometimes, like, when she's so full and she vomits, my husband jumps out. He's like, oh, she's choking. I'm like, no, she's fine. So I get so scared of feeding her because I'm scared she might choke. Sometimes I'm just like, I think she'll be fine with just breastfeeding. Like, she'll eat when she wants to eat, but then, you know, she needs to eat. So I'm just scared of feeding her. It's just a lot of anxiety that goes on. Scared of wanting to some things, even like as simple as just scared of even wanting to go back to work because you don't trust someone else can take care of your child the way you do. So, and then I remembered, like, during just normal anxiety, not necessarily postpartum or pregnancy or what, for me, the way I handle anxiety is just stop everything. I stop everything in my head. I stop overthinking things. I just stop thinking. Sometimes when I was at work, even sometimes I just take an off and just stay home, not to do anything, just to be in bed and just shut everything. And it's like, listen to the silence in your head. Like, stop thinking, stop overthinking things, and then write down the things you think are in your head. And then that way I calm down. So for my anxiety, the way I tackle it best is just relaxing, or you go for a walk, you do something else that gets you physically exhausted, so then you're not mentally exhausted. And then I was also doing a bit of research on supplements and maybe just natural home remedies for anxiety. You'll be surprised that sometimes it's not even about exercise and what. Sometimes you just need to calm your body down. Some meditation, some easy yoga, and maybe sometimes even the supplements you're taking, some of them are very helpful. And that's the reason why you encourage to keep taking your supplements, especially the prenatal care, even after your baby, because they have the nutrients that your body would need to help you with so many things that you don't even know about. Like, for example, you still need your calcium for it won't help much, but calcium in your body helps your baby with quick teething. And then the calcium in your body helps you with your hair loss, which we'll talk about it later. It helps. Sometimes it's just even a psychological thing, It helps with so many things. So I read about magnesium and how magnesium is very good for relaxation. You can either get the supplement itself, the magnesium supplements with magnesium, or just the natural remedies. I think things like pumpkin seeds, soy, milk, all those things help with the magnesium you need in your body. If your body is low in magnesium, then you're very prone to anxiety. I don't know how to explain this better. I don't want to get into any medical terms first because I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to talk about terms that I'm not quite sure of. But I just know magnesium in your body helps with anxiety. It helps with calming you down. And then something else I used to do when I was pregnant with my anxiety is take passion fruit. And for some weird reason, passion has the component of calming you down. So if you can, you take the fresh passion fruit, or you can even take passion fruit juice. It will help you with calming you down. And then it's also good to just really, really study yourself and understand, are you going through postpartum anxiety or are you going through postpartum depression? Because postpartum depression is something you can't have a home remedy for. It's something you really need to seek help. And I am so glad I have people around me who were there for me during my postpartum anxiety that helped me understand that I'm not crazy, because sometimes you can think, I remember sometimes I'd feel like I've completely lost myself and I will never ever go back to the Anna that I used to be. I'm like, what if I become a crazy? Is this how people become crazy? Like you lose yourself and then you become this whole new being. Like, is that why sometimes maybe my mom doesn't understand me, or sometimes our parents are hard on us? Is it because they just went through this postpartum anxiety and depression thing and now they just know, going back? But it's something, if you deal with it and if you're very aware of what it is that you're going through, with time you try to find remedies and ways to cool yourself down, and also just trying to accept this new being that you are and taking a day at a time. Because you see, I didn't really notice how bad or how good my anxiety was at that time until now, when I'm not so overwhelmed, and then I feel like, oh, it wasn't that bad, and then I'm able to watch myself now and see that the things that maybe I'm going through are hormonal, or it's a postpartum thing, and it will pass. Like maybe 6 months from now, I'll look back and I'm like, that wasn't that bad, and now we are at a better place, because so many things have really changed, and obviously now I'm at a better place, and things will keep changing and getting better. So that gives you at least the motivation that eventually you might go back to who you used to be in many ways and many forms, and maybe the things that you liked about yourself. Maybe if you are an extrovert and you loved going out and meeting people, maybe you can go back to that later when you're ready to. And now you should just give yourself a break and try to go through each day at a time. And it's very important, if again you understand what it is that you're going through, then that way you're able to, I don't know if I'm making sense, just the peace from within, and also the peace of mind knowing what it is that you're going through. For postpartum depression, I'm not able to talk about it because it's something that I didn't go through, and also it's something that's very, very, very deep, and I wouldn't want to talk about it. But if there's anyone who's really, I think I have a friend who might have gone through the postpartum depression, and maybe I can bring her in, and maybe we can even involve my gyna and see how to maneuver the topic and how to watch out for some symptoms and signs for depression. At least I'm a bit aware of symptoms and signs for anxiety, but most of the time the two go hand in hand. So it's good if you know the two and you're able to tackle it, and also just getting help. Yeah. Thank you for watching through this and listening to my story, and I hope we can engage more with the moms out there and the experiences they've had. And please subscribe, share, and like, and stay tuned for my next episode. I post twice a week, so keep watching. Bye.